Hello, friends and clients. I am Jennifer Walker Gates with JLW Immigration Law Group. I am here today to talk about U visas and specifically what's happening with U visas in 2025. Our YouTube channel has a lot of historical information about U visas. This is a case type that I personally have probably done more of in my 20 years of practicing immigration law than any other type of case. And so have lots and lots of experience dealing with U visas and their waivers, their benefits, their drawbacks, etc. So there's a lot of information on our website about it. And if you don't know what a U visa is or what kinds of crimes qualify for the U visa, what the benefits of the U visa are, please check out our YouTube channel, check out those videos, and leave us comments, send us questions if you have any. We're happy to respond to them. Today, we're going to be talking about what's happening in 2025 with U visas. And before we get into that, I do want to take a second and ask that you share, subscribe, and comment. Please, if you know anyone who has a pending U visa or who has been a victim of a violent crime and reported it to police and cooperated in the investigation, please share this information with them. Let them know we are here for them. You can book an appointment with me or any of the attorneys in our firm by calling us at 512-633-1785. Or you can also find us on our website, which is jlw.law. There you can schedule an appointment directly with me or any of the attorneys in our firm. We will be glad to assess your U visa eligibility if that applies to you or whatever else may be going on in your immigration case. We're happy to talk to you about it, make a plan, make a strategy for keeping your family safe and together in the United States. That's our goal. That said, let's talk today about what is happening in 2025. I think it bears just providing a little bit of historical context. One thing we can all say about the U visa is, as great of a benefit as it is, it takes a long time. Okay, there is a limit in the law. Congress wrote a limit of 10,000 U visas to be issued per year. And unfortunately, in the United States, non-citizens are often the target of violent crime much more often than 10,000 times per year. So what has resulted after many years of this program being in existence, it came into existence in the year 2000, so we're in year 25. We now have a backlog of approximately 170,000 U visas sitting and waiting. Now, a few of those cases will get cleared out of that backlog before they're approved or whatever. But if we just do simple math and assume 10,000 per year and there's 170,000 cases pending, we're talking about 17 years of potentially waiting for a U visa if you were to file today. That said, there is this thing that happens when you're waiting on your U visa, which is that USCIS will look at your case and make a preliminary determination about your eligibility. They will assess, does this law enforcement certification look correct and complete? Does it look valid? Has the person provided the basic requirements for this case? Have they provided their identification documents? Have they provided their sworn statement about the substantial abuse that they suffered as the result of this crime? Have they provided their basic application for waivers of any inadmissibility that might apply in their case? If you've provided all that stuff, USCIS issues what's called a Bonafide determination. That means they send you a letter that says Bonafide determination, and it means your U visa appears to be bona fide. It appears to be valid and approvable. This is not a guarantee that your U visa will be approved, but it's a pretty good indication. Okay, it's a finding by USCIS that things look and appear to be in order. And the greatest thing about it is when that happens, you are authorized to seek work permission. You can apply for a work permit as someone who has received a bona fide determination on their U visa. The work permit then, of course, allows you to apply for a driver's license, receive your Social Security card, begin receiving Social Security benefits, work legally, and demonstrate that you're in a period of authorized status in the United States for the 4-year period covered by that work permit. That work permit is also renewable. So if you are waiting more than 4 years for the U visa, which many people will be, you can renew that work authorization card every 4 years. The Biden administration created this Bonafide determination program after Congress in 2008 passed a law that said someone who has a bona fide U visa can get a work authorization document. USCIS implemented this a few years ago, and unfortunately, at the time that they implemented it, it was still taking anywhere from 4 to 5 years for them to even issue a bona fide determination and that initial work authorization document. Way too long. There is a law in the United States that says the government has an obligation to do its work in a reasonable time frame. So if someone applies for a work authorization document, either pays the fee or receives a fee waiver or files all of the necessary requirements with the government to be able to receive that benefit, the government then has an obligation and a duty to provide that benefit within a reasonable time frame. The definition of what constitutes reasonable can vary. Of course, reasonable minds might disagree on what exactly that means. However, we began to see very routinely that a lot of federal courts agreed with us that 4 or 5 years for a simple work authorization document was not reasonable. And we began to see a lot of attorneys filing what are called mandamus actions in the federal courts to say, hey, USCIS received this application 4 or 5 years ago, and they still haven't issued the document. Now, we began to see, as a result of all of that, improvements in USCIS's processing times. And that all brings me to the point of today's talk, which is that now in 2025, we are consistently seeing bona fide determinations issued on U visas in approximately 1 year. For a while there, we were seeing this mix of some applications being approved quickly, some still taking several years. It's not to say that there aren't still applicants out there, individuals out there waiting multiple years for their bona fide determinations. If you are, I welcome you to get in touch with me and we can talk about whether a federal lawsuit is a good idea for you or not. But we were seeing this kind of mix for a while where some applications were getting the bona fide determination very quickly and some were still waiting years. What has happened over the last year or so is that USCIS seems to have gotten into a system of adjudications that is working pretty effectively to make sure that applicants are getting their bona fide determinations and their work authorizations in approximately 12 to 14 months. Now, that's still a long time. However, it's much, much better than what we were seeing before. We welcome the improvement. And even though we hope they continue to improve, we would hope to see something around a 6-month time frame as really being what we would consider ultimately quite reasonable and good service. We are pleased, no doubt about it, to see that the timeframes have really shortened from several years to approximately 1 year, and it's becoming more predictable and more consistent over time. I wanted to share this little bit of good news because so much of what we're hearing on the internet these days is discouraging, very discouraging. Individuals who are victims of crime in the United States, who report those crimes and who cooperate with authorities in investigating those crimes, are still able to receive benefits. It is still the law, and that law is still being respected. And we are really grateful for that. I am always hopeful that when I meet with clients and potential clients that they will never qualify for a U visa because they won't suffer a violent crime. However, the reality is that many individuals who don't have lawful status in the United States are vulnerable to violent crime. And if that does happen to you, it is really, really important to take steps, first of all, to protect yourself, protect your rights, and then, if it's possible, to take that terrible experience and transform it in some way into something positive for yourself, your future, and your family. That is something that the U visa does. That's just really a beautiful thing. We have been so honored to be able to be a part of that journey for thousands of clients in our firm over the years of practice, and we want to continue to do that. The really great thing right now is that having that bona fide determination, having that work authorization allows you to have that driver's license. Those are very effective protections against detention and removal. And so those are benefits that for anyone who does qualify, it's really, really important to ask for them, to seek them, to make sure that you exercise your right to request them. I hope that this has been helpful. If we can help you at all with your immigration case, please reach out to us. You can call our main office at 512-633-1785, and we will be happy to schedule you for an appointment. Again, we ask that you share this information. También hablamos español. I'm going to repeat this whole video in Spanish. So please reach out to us if we can help you with anything at all. Call us, go online, schedule with us. Take good care. Reach out to us with any questions via comments or direct email. And with that, I'm going to sign off. Please take care. We'll talk to you again next week.